Hi everyone, thank you for joining the session with ISB. My name is Nikhil. I work with GMAT Club. My forum username is workout. I've been with GMAT Club for the past 2 years. We also have Jibbi from ISB Admissions. Jibbi, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Nikhil. Just allow me one moment. Just wanted to check.
Jibbi, we are live.
Okay. So thanks a lot, first of all, Nikhil, for inviting me, and it's a great opportunity you have given us, and also the candidates. Hi, everyone. Hope you all are doing good and keeping good health. My name is Jibbi James. I work as Senior Manager Admissions at the Indian School of Business. As the senior manager admissions, I take care of three important tasks. One is the admissions for the 1 year flagship PGP program, that is the management program at ISB. The second is the early entry option, which is for candidates between 0 and 2 years of experience, and the young leaders program, which is for college students who are in their pre-final and final year of graduation or post-graduation. And third task, which I take care of, is the international admissions. So I'll be happy to interact with you today and take any questions you have.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you, GB. So I think to go with the overview of the session, GB is going to do like quick presentation for the first 10 to 15 minutes. After that, we will do a live Q&A with all of our audience. So if you have any questions regarding ISB admissions, please feel free to post them into the comments and we will get to them like in about 15 minutes. GB, you can start the presentation.
Okay, just wanted to check once with you. Is my screen visible?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
see
Nikhil,
you.
it's visible, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So, once again, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in. I will try to quickly sum up everything what I want to talk about ISB in the next 15, 17 minutes. I won't be able to do that much of justice, but still, I'll try to quickly cover as many points as I can, and then I'll leave it to the Q&A. So the Indian School of Business is a journey of many firsts. By that I mean to say that ISB is the first business school in India to begin the 1 year PGP program in management. It's the first business school in India to begin the modular programs. It's the first business school in South Asia to receive the ASB accreditation, and it is within the only 1% of the business schools in the world, that is, it's the 100th business school in the world to receive the Triple Crown accreditation. So ISB always strives for global excellence, not just in terms of the curriculum, but also the faculty exchange, the student exchange, the specializations offered, the electives offered, the research focus, and industry-specific specializations, be it in infrastructure, manufacturing, public policy, healthcare, law, and so on. So, in order to achieve that global excellence and stay globally relevant, ISB has got into collaboration with these five global schools. Kellogg and Wharton are the founding business school of Indian School of Business. London Business School, MIT, Sloan, and Fletcher as the Tufts University. These are the associate business schools of the Indian School of Business. Triple Crown accreditations ensure that ISB maintains the global standard of knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination. AACSB is the American body, EQUIS is the European body, and AMBA is the UK body. ISB ranks number 28 in the world by Financial Times. It ranks number 7th in the world by Forbes, and it is ranked number 2 in the world by Wall Street Journal. Now, let me quickly take you through five basic value propositions, and I would suggest you use these value propositions to evaluate any business school you want to, and then take a well-informed decision which business school fits you the best. So I'll talk about ISB and relate it with all these five value propositions. So the first one is the world-class faculty. So at ISB, we have a portfolio faculty model, which is a very good mix of the resident faculty and the visiting faculty. We have close to 70 plus resident faculty, which are completely research focused and follow a contemporary curriculum, which is up to date and with respect to what's happening in and around the world. By visiting faculty, what I mean is, let's say, for example, a professor from Kellogg comes to ISB, stays for an entire term, teaches an entire subject, and then goes back to Kellogg. So you can see some of the logos here. We have visiting faculty coming from LBS, MIT, Darden, NYU, NUS, and so on. We have collaboration with close to 40 plus business schools in the world, which are in top 50, top 100 Financial Times ranking. We have 200 plus visiting faculty coming from top global schools. If I have to give you one or two examples, uh, Edward Rogers, who's the Chief Knowledge Officer at NASA, he comes and teaches a subject in managing complex businesses. Uh, Professor Krishnamurthy Subramanian, who's the Chief Economic Advisor to the Indian government, he also comes and teaches a subject in finance. These are just few of the names, but the kind of faculty exposure you'll get is helpful in terms of building your overall perspective, not just with respect to what's happening domestically, but also globally. We follow an integrated learning approach in which it's a mix of classroom learning, applied learning, peer learning, and learning through events and competitions. So, classroom learning, we follow a case based methodology and we have 10 specializations. Six are core specializations that are in marketing, operations, finance, strategy, and leadership, entrepreneurship, and IT. We also have in analytics and HR. Apart from that, we have four industry specific specializations in public policy, healthcare, manufacturing, and infrastructure. Your entire 1 year will be divided into 8 terms. In the first 3 terms, you'll be studying subjects from each of these specializations, that is the core subjects. And from the fourth term onwards, you'll be choosing your specialization. You can do either one single specialization or a dual specialization, or you can form, or you can do one specialization and then form an amalgam of various subjects from out of 80 plus electives which we have. Applied learning, since it's a 1 year program, sorry, so we do not have any internship. What we have is an experiential learning program. What happens in an experiential learning program is that you have an industry mentor and you have a faculty mentor, and you work on a real life problem which a particular company in a particular industry is facing. So you can choose a particular role which you are looking for. You can choose a particular company and an industry through ISB for the projects which come in. And then if you want to enhance your specific skills, or if you want to map your interest in what you're looking for out of your career post ISB, you can choose a project in that particular role and responsibility for a particular company or in that particular industry. Now you make presentations, you submit reports, you have status calls daily, weekly or bi-weekly, depending on what the company wants. And whatever tools you've been learning during your course at ISB, you can use all those tools to implement a solution. Now, this is a credited course again, so it adds and counts towards your graduation as well. So, what this helps you to do is get a hands on experience of what you are looking for or what particular role and responsibility you are aspiring for post ISB. So, this gives you that platform. Similarly, we have study treks. This gives you a deeper dive into a specific industry. Again, you have a faculty mentor. You can, choose a specific industry, and then you do a deeper dive by connecting with the top leadership or top management of of a particular company in that industry, on getting to know how strategies are formulated and how is it that the plans are implemented and decisions are made. Similarly, we have planning an entrepreneurial venture for the budding entrepreneurs, wherein right from the ideation stage to receiving a funding, each and every framework is set up there. in place for you to practice your entrepreneurial skills as well through incubators which we have. And even post your course at ISB, you can be part of the incubation cells, and for 11 months you receive stipend and you can practice your startup there. And post that, in case if your entrepreneurial venture is not that much of a success and you feel that you want to get back into corporate life, you can anytime get back to ISB and become part of the placements there. In terms of peer learning, we have 40 plus international exchange programs, 14 professional clubs, be it in marketing, operations, finance, and so on, and 10 social clubs. So these clubs are student driven. So in case if you have any idea and five of your colleagues support you in that idea, you can reach out to the ISB management and tell them that, okay, this is a club which we want to begin, and they'll be happy to help you with that. Few days back, and they usually give this example, I was interacting with one of the alumni, and he was from the Air Force, and he actually told me that he actually started a flying club at ISB, and 60 plus students actually flew with him. Since it's a completely on campus learning, you'll be witnessing and becoming part of a lot of events and competitions, not just at an ISB level, but also at national and international levels. So these also give you opportunity to enhance your skills in either a particular domain which you are interested in. Plus, also for these clubs, we have leadership positions like president and vice president. So you can hone your leadership skills as well by becoming part of these competitions and clubs. So this is a new structure which we have introduced starting from this year, which is known as the PGP 2.0. So in the previous years, the program used to be for 49 weeks. From this year onwards, it's for 52 weeks. What we have introduced is something known as a digital head start module. And in this digital head start module, I'll be talking about it in the next slide. It gives you a head start so that you can get used to the rigor of learning at ISB, plus also gain a lot of perspectives and get the right kind of guidance from all the ISB stakeholders, so that when you start your on-campus learning, you maximize your learning opportunities. I've also Career Prep Week is a newly introduced again, in which you'll be interacting with a lot of alumni who are working in the top industries, top companies who come for recruitment at ISB. They'll be sharing the best practices of how to crack the interviews and what are the roles and responsibilities, what are the companies looking for. This will actually give you an idea of whether your role or your aspirations fit in with what the company requires, and this will also help you in taking a well-informed decision going forward. CAS week, which is the placement week, ELP and study tracks, again I've already talked about. So let me quickly move on to what is a digital head start module which we have in place. It has four components. First is the academic component, and this academic component actually will get you prepared and provide you with all the tools required in order to get used to the rigor of the learning experience at ISB. So it has four easy-paced core courses which you'll be studying. We have a very robust digital platform in place. So you'll be undergoing classroom sessions digitally. You'll be also formed into your groups, and you'll be having your assignments given to you. You'll be submitting those assignments, and it will be not exactly a physical classroom experience, but the closest you can get through our digital platform. So this gets you used to the learning experience. The second important aspect is the independent study project which we have at ISB. This year, every year there will be a different theme. This year, what we have is something known as Jumpstart India module. for the students, in which they have faculty mentors and they are formed under groups. It is again mandatory, uh, and these uh, will help you not just in learning for yourselves but also contributing towards the Indian economy. You will be picking up industries or sectors in which you feel the Indian economy needs boost post COVID, and you'll be doing your research, you'll be having data, you'll be doing your analysis, you'll be making presentations, submitting reports, and so on. And these ideas then will be suggested to the central government and the state governments, and if they like it, they will be actually implementing these ideas. Um, the ISB has actually got into an MOU with the Telangana government as well, uh, in terms of taking initiatives like these and suggesting them, ideas and solutions to boosting the Indian economy or Telangana economy as well, post COVID. Apart from that, you will be having your co-curricular activities in which you'll be formed under your clubs, committees, various events will happen, and you'll get used to, what kind of events actually will also happen on campus. So it would be a glimpse of that learning experience as well. You'll also be given information about the bidding system which happens at ISB for your specializations and for your international exchange. Uh, One thing I missed out on telling was in terms of the academics, these four easy paced courses are like you can complete it within the 10 weeks for the DHM. Uh, and these contain credits and count towards graduation as well. Now, leadership development is the other important aspect. You'll be interacting with the recently passed out batch, in which they'll be sort of passing on the baton to you, and they'll be sharing their experiences and their ups and downs, their stories with you, so that you can take guidance from them and then take further steps at ISB. You'll also be interacting with a lot and lot of alumni, ISB board members. You'll be undergoing CXO talks, talks from industrialists and so on. This will help you gain a lot of perspectives, not just from within your cohort, from within the ISB ecosystem, but also from outside the ISB ecosystem. So, in a gist, if I have to tell you, the digital head start module equips you with all the tools required for you to excel during the on-campus experience. Since almost everyone who will be joining the program will be having 2+ years of experience, so for you all to get back to that rigor of studying again will take some time, and this digital head start module will provide you with that right platform where you'll get used to it. In terms of diversity, ISB values diversity a lot. It's not just learning inside the classroom which matters, but also learning outside the classroom. So usually I give this example. Let's say if you're driving a car and you have to stop that car, how will you stop it? So most of the answers which I would receive is we'll apply brakes, which is the right answer. But did you try thinking from a different angle? You can also, pull the handbrake. You can first press the clutch, then reduce the acceleration, and then press the brakes. And since somebody else might say, since the question is only stopping the car, you might as well just go and bang the car somewhere, because the ultimate goal is to stop that car. Different people can have different perspectives, and that is where diversity comes into play, where different people coming from different walks of life, different educational backgrounds, different industrial backgrounds. You might be viewing a particular problem with a different mindset, but they might be looking at the same problem with a different mindset. So this again helps you gain a lot and lot of perspectives. So in the current batch, we have mountaineers, social activists, bloggers, patent holders, artists, fitness freaks, drama enthusiasts, sports person, dancers, doctors, army officers, musicians, and so on. CAs, engineers. You can think of different diverse backgrounds. Extending the diversity aspect, blue numbers are for the Hyderabad campus. Green ones are for the Mohali campus. In terms of the gender diversity, the current batch has 39% female candidates. We accept only either a GMAT or a GRE score, and we do not differentiate between the two. So you can apply through any of these scores. For GMAT, from the current batch, their score range is 600, between 600 and 770. For GRE, their average score ranges between 311 and 334. We also have a very good mix of non-engineers, which is 32% in the batch. In terms of the average age, it is 26.25 years. Average work experience is 4.3 years. The range of work experience is between 2 and 20 years. In terms of knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination, as I said, in order to maintain those global standards, ISB focuses a lot on its research activities. So we have a lot of research institutes and center of excellences in public policy, healthcare, global manufacturing, infrastructure management, analytical finance, innovation and entrepreneurship, learning and management practice, IT and networked economy, Center for Family Enterprise, and so on. Let me just quickly take last 5 minutes and then I'll open up for Q&A. I know that we are running short of time. So ISB has two world-class campuses. We believe in one school, two campus philosophy. And there are only two major differences between the two campuses. One is in terms of the geographical location. One is in Hyderabad, the other one is in Mohali. Second is the operational capacity in terms of, currently Hyderabad campus can hold 600 students, Mohali campus can hold 300 students. Apart from that, both the campuses have the same dean, the same admissions team. Placements for both the campuses happen together. Students from the Mohali campus are flown to the Hyderabad campus where placements happen together. In your course completion certificate, Indian School of Business will be mentioned and not Hyderabad or Mohali campus. With respect to diversity across both the campuses is same. We also have intra-campus exchange. So during terms 3, 5, and 8, you have the opportunity of pursuing a particular term in the other campus. So I personally do not find any difference as such apart from those two, which I've already talked about. Now, global network is one more very important value proposition which you should be looking at. So at ISB, we have 11,500 plus alumni. 21% of them are working outside India, 60 plus countries and 400 plus cities. We have 14 alumni chapters. That is how the alumni stay connected. 9 domestic chapters and 5 international. We have 27% female and representation from the alumni network. But in the current class, we have 39% female candidates. 600 plus alumni are entrepreneurs or have their own family business. 60% of the alumni are working in technology, consulting, finance, e-commerce, and healthcare. The remaining 40% you can think of as diverse industries as you can, and you will find alumni working there as well. CXO and top leadership roles are held by 550 plus alumni. So just one insight here, I actually used to speak with a lot of my colleagues who have completed their management courses from top other business schools in India. But they always feel jealous about the ISB network, which we have, how easily accessible, easily approachable, the kind of guidance with the alumni network provides, the kind of exposure in terms of not just receiving guidance in terms of professional life, but also in terms of personal life, also in terms of, in your ISB network, you'll find your clients, you'll find your vendors, you'll find the top decision makers. And this ecosystem in itself is a small organization that way. We have a career advancement services team. So this is the last value proposition. Now, one important thing which happens is, in other business schools, they have a centralized placement cell, which is assisted by a student body. But at ISB, we have 28 plus full-time working professionals who are based out of different zones in the country, who take care of maintaining and establishing corporate relationships in their own zones with diverse set of industries. And each uh, region in itself has a different industry specification, or a specific industry booms in a particular zone. So that is how these professionals or the career advancement services team members ensure that we capture the right set of recruiters with the right set of roles and responsibilities, and map all the aspirations of the students with what they are looking out for in these recruiters. So they also do the demand assessment, your opportunity landscaping, and soft skill enhancement, and so on. So in terms of career support, you have career coaching sessions, resume writing, skill building, smart networking, job search support, perspective building, soft skill training, and most importantly, the LinkedIn profile enhancement. These are few of the indicative recruiters. You'll find most of the big names over there. And as I said, these are just the indicative recruiters. I could not put the entire list here. But you can see the kind of industries, the diverse industries from where the recruiters come in at ISB. We've also been having recruiters from NGOs and government sectors. You can go to our website and you'll be able to find the last 5 years placement reports there, and you'll be able to figure out what kind of roles were offered and what kind of companies had come for recruitment. Now let's look at the left side first. In the last year, 432 companies came in for recruitment at ISB, and for 884 students, 1,504 offers were rolled out. What does this tell you? This tells you that ISB does not follow a one offer, one placement kind of a policy. So you can apply to as many companies as you want, and then based on your fitment, you can choose a particular offer. Now, according to Financial Times, ISB is ranked number 4th in the world in terms of salary growth. ISB has a 188% increase in average outgoing salary versus incoming salary. Now, on the right hand side, if you see, 79% of the students were able to make a functional shift. By functional shift, what I mean, I was working as a software tester. From a software testing function, I moved into digital marketing function. So this is what a functional shift is known as, change in role. Many also changed their industry shift, which is 78.5%, and 65.28% students were able to make both functional as well as industry shift. So what I'll do is, I won't talk about how to apply right now because I know this will be covered during the Q&A. So I'll quickly move on to this slide, which is the timeline. So admissions for the postgraduate program and the early entry option, which I talked about, which is for candidates between 0 and 2 years of experience. So the application process for the PGP and early entry option are similar. Even the application form is same. The evaluation will be a bit different, but application form is same and admissions are open. The round 1 deadline is September 20. So you'll have to submit your application form by September 20. We might, extend the submissions of a GMAT score in case if you are planning to take a GMAT, or if you're taking a GRE. It's also, so we do not differentiate, as I said. But in terms of submitting your test scores, you will have to give us a specific date. In case if you are unable to book your slots, you can give us your date in October. You'll have to provide a proof that, okay, you have booked your exam date in October, and then on a case-to-case basis, we can provide you extension as well for submitting the exam scores. So with this, I come to an end of my presentation. I would be very happy to answer all your questions. In case I'm unable to answer your questions during the session, please, you can reach out to us on these touch points, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you very much, Jibbi. As you said, we are getting tons of questions. We also got tons of questions from the forum that we have collected from the users. So the first question for you will be: will ISB continue to have fewer people on campus, and will there be more classes moved online? How is that experience going to be?
Uh, just allow me one moment. I couldn't hear. Can you please repeat? Sorry.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. So my first question for you will be: will ISB continue to have fewer people on campus, and will more classes be moving online?
No, I would say no directly because ISB believes in the on-campus experience, the peer learning, and we have been trying really very hard to get the students on campus. So right now, they just completed their digital head start module, and slowly they have started. You know, we have started onboarding them to their on-campus experience as well. So from September 1st, that is what we have planned for their on-campus experience to begin. Now, having said that, usually the batch would end by April, but keeping this in mind that they have lost 1 or 2 months of their on-campus experience, we have extended their on-campus learning experience till May 2021. And so the answer to this question would be no, not going to the online platform more, but ensuring that yes, the digital head start module is going to be there in the next year and the coming years as well. The duration of the digital head start module might vary.
Got it. Yeah, sounds good. So we're also seeing tons of questions on the deferral requests that were approved last year by ISP. Can you tell us a little bit more about how is that going to impact the class size or admissions for this year?
So ISB receives deferrals every year. It's not just during this particular pandemic that we are receiving deferrals. We actually have this policy of offering deferrals to the candidates. Once they receive the offer, it's up to them whether they want to defer by an year or so. So every year we receive deferrals. It's just that in this particular year, we have received a bit more. It's not that substantial increase. Uh, Now, also it depends on how many will be joining the class. There are many candidates who defer, but not all join because their priorities or their decisions might change. So from your end, what the candidates can do is, given your best, do not worry about how many seats will be offered and so on. Given your best, and we assure you that if you are a quality candidate, we will not let you go.
Sounds good. I think the next question is again regarding to the class size. ISP has a fairly decent class size of 900 people. So how does ISP make sure that it is addressing the needs of all of the 900 students?
So, yes, we have 900 students in the class, but not all the 900 study together. So, they are divided into sections, and each section has close to 60 to 70 students, not more than that. So, this ensures that there is a personal connect between the peer group itself, as well as the peer group, or as well as the students and the faculty. So, in terms of you getting lost, I would say no, you will not get lost at all, but you will form, very, very healthy bonds with each other. And that is what, when you are joining a particular business school, the networking matters a lot. And ISB will not leave any stone unturned when it comes to you forming a very strong network.
Sounds good. I'm also seeing from the YouTube comments there were tons of questions regarding how much of experience is ideal for ISP. Is 10 years too much? Is 2 years too small? Can you tell us what does ISP specifically look for in a work experience?
So, we have been having 2+ years of experience since our inception. So when we say that 2+ years of experience, we mean that if you have a 2+ years of experience, that is enough. Now, also, on the contrary, it doesn't mean that having more years of experience means that you have more experience in terms of quality. What matters that is that even within 2 to 3 years, you can have a very quality experience, which a 5 years of experience candidate might not have. So what we are looking for is that quality in you. So this is just a benchmark. If I have to say 2+ years of experience, in one of our info sessions which we had organized, one of the alumni, he said, in his batch there was a doctor whose age was 53 years. So age is just a number. This is what I'll say. As long as you are very clear with your aspirations, with what you want to achieve in your career, we will be happy to onboard you.
Sounds good. I know you already spoke a little bit about the visiting faculty. Do they visit both the campuses, or is there any
Yes.
discount?
Yes, they visit both the campuses.
So the next question, I think it's again because of the impact of the COVID. Some people might have lost their job. How does this reflect in the application? How should one address this issue in the application?
So, on one side, what I would say is uh, this particular situation is not with respect to only one city or one country. It's happening in and around the world. So we completely understand. So you do not worry that, because of the COVID scenario, it's going to impact or hamper your application process. What we will be more interested in knowing is how well did you try from your end to use this particular COVID scenario or to the best of your advantages. You know, you could have done. I'm just giving example. Like this in this particular COVID scenario, I got a lot of time to spend with my family, which I would not have spent otherwise. Apart from that, I got to introspect myself and I got to know, okay, these are the things in which I can improve my personal and my professional life. So I tried putting in a lot of effort to bridge those gaps. And I also understand that there might be, scenarios where there might have been a lot of layoffs. Do not worry. That is not going to hamper your application process at all, because it's something which is happening because of the current scenario, and this is not in your control. So do not worry.
Sure, sounds good. I also see one of the question from the forum. If someone is specifically interested in for a technology-related job post CDA, what are some of the electives that he or she can leverage? Um,
Okay, so I would not be having all the electives on top of my mind, but ISB has 80 plus electives to choose from, and this is I would say it's like one of the highest which we have. And in these 80 plus electives, you'll have electives and subjects based on technology, IT, entrepreneurship, marketing, public policy, healthcare, and so on. All those 10 specializations which I talked about. So all these electives which we have in place are actually discussed at the top level with our collaborating business schools that I have talked about: Kellogg, Wharton, London Business School, Fletcher, and MIT Sloan. So in terms of the quality of the electives which you will have, again, I would say you won't find it. I can vouch you won't find it that much anywhere else.
Sounds good. So the next question from the user will be like, how does ISB view applicants from the non-business experience?
So let me talk about. I can give you a very high end example that the captain of the Indian hockey team, ex captain of the Indian hockey team, Viren Rastina, he was an ISB student. So post his career in sports, he joined ISB. So he did not have any business work experience or any business exposure as such. Now I've already shown you that diversity infographic in which I've talked about candidates coming in from different walks of life. We have had yoga enthusiasts, wildlife photographers, we have had public speakers, candidates who have their own startups, and so on. When you talk about civil service, okay, and I also talked about army personnel, doctors, and so on. So there are so many candidates we have had, and we'll be happy to connect you with them. And this will be my personal suggestion also. If ISB is the right fit for you, and if you think you will be going ahead and applying to ISB, do interact with the alumni. You can reach out to them on LinkedIn. Do interact with alumni and get to know their experience, and this will give you a first hand experience of knowing what changes you will see in that 1 year at ISB.
Sounds good. I know you already spoke a little bit about the international exchange programs, but if you can just giving you a chance to elaborate on that, if you want to add any more to that program.
We have it with 40 plus global business schools. Now, it usually begins from your fourth term or fifth term to your seventh term and so on. Now, every business school offers specific electives in specific terms. So, you have to map your requirement. What is it that you are looking for? Then you have to choose a particular business school, and you have to apply to that particular exchange program. Uh, Now, you can, so it will be term wise. In a specific term, you'll be going to a particular international business school. There is a bidding process which happens. As soon as you join the program, you'll be allotted with 1800 odd credit points. Now, this bidding process will be explained to you and completely once you join the program, but on a high level, you use these bidding points to choose your electives, to bid for the international exchange programs, and very important thing again, I don't know if you have heard about it or if you know about it, you can also choose the faculty who teaches you. So when you have your electives, ISB will provide you 4 to 5 profiles of the faculty members, and when you go do your research, get details around them, and then you bid for the faculty with whom you want to study that particular subject. So ideally it's like the students choosing a particular faculty at ISB. This also ensures that we maintain even the faculty are up to date, and they don't share outdated information with you, because they know that if they are not on their toes, they might not get to teach in the next year.
Sounds good. I think this specific question is regarding if somebody has an extenuating circumstances while undergrad, probably because of an illness they have in the GPA. How and where should they should be addressing this in the application component?
Uh, so I'll take 1 or 2 minutes to explain this, and I'll explain the entire application process so that even the further questions might get answered through it. So your entire application form consists of 6 different sections: your academics, your work experience, your test score, that is a GMAT or a GRE score. Then you have your awards and activities which you have done in your personal and professional life. Fifth will be your essay, and sixth will be your recommendation. Each of these sections has a separate weighted score, and combining, we use an algorithm and we combine each sectional score to generate a pre-interview score or an overall application score to get you shortlisted. Now, can you go back and change your academics? No, right? You cannot go back and change your academics. So do not worry about that. We know about it. We would be more interested in knowing that apart from your academics, okay, even if you think that okay, you have scored less in your academics, what is it that you have done after your education to counterbalance it? What kind of skill sets, qualities, and capabilities have you gained? Also, even in your undergraduation, again, there might have been circumstances because of which you might not have scored well. That also we can understand. You have to ensure that either there might be a gap, there might be backlogs, or there might be you know you not able to complete a particular course in a specified amount of time. We would be looking at the reasons. As long as you can justify those reasons to us, we'll be happy to accept your application and your accept your candidature. What two things are completely in your hand? One is your GMAT or a GRE score, because it is not affected by any external factor. And second is your essay. This is what you are going to write. Your work experience can be affected by your external factors. Your recommendation will be affected by your external factor. But these two things are completely under your control. So ensure that you put in a lot of effort. I can also give you an example. On the contrary, there was a candidate who scored 780 in GMAT who was not selected. There was a candidate who scored 620 in GMAT who was selected. So this should give you an idea that it is not just the score which we are looking at. Your test score will give you a higher weighted score in that section alone. But apart from that, in the rest of the sections, you'll still have to perform. You'll still have to give us or show us the right picture of you by which we can know more about you. So use the application as a storytelling platform and talk about your story which makes you unique. If you write, I am a good team player, I can handle pressure well, and so on, don't you think everybody else will be writing the same? Then how will it differentiate your application with somebody else's? When you put in your story in the application, that is what will make your application unique. So work on your application holistically. Do not think that if you have a good score, you will make it. And do not think that if you have a lower score, you will not be able to make it. Do not self reject yourself. At ISB, we have the team who has been evaluating profiles for the last 20 years. So leave it up to them. You don't be a self evaluator.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. So I know ISB already released the deadlines for round one, but a lot of people are wondering about if they cannot be able to make it to round one, when should they be expecting the deadlines for round two or round three?
So we will definitely have a round two, but we may or may not have a round three. Now, the deadline of round two, we haven't decided it yet because we are continuously monitoring the situation. And depending on what happens during the course of time, we'll be coming out with the round two deadline somewhere closer to the round one deadline. Now, applying in round one, what this ensures is that it maximizes your opportunity of getting a 100% scholarship on the tuition fee waiver. That is why we usually suggest candidates to apply in round one. In round two, you will not be eligible for a 100% kind of a scholarship, but you will be eligible for 50%, 75%, 25% kind of scholarships.
Yeah, sounds good. We also have a few questions regarding the interview experience. How is it going to be? Will there be on-site or on-campus interviews this year, or is it purely online?
So as far as the current scenario goes, we will be having uh, online interviews, or Skype interviews and so on. We are not, as of now we are not looking for any face-to-face kind of an interaction till the time things are under control and people feel safe about traveling again. So till then we'll be having everything online, the interactions. But yes, the on-campus experience is about to start at ISB.
Sounds good. I think the next question is, since most of the classes are moving online, there might be a little less chance of networking and extracurricular activities. How is ISB addressing this issue? So a lot of applicants are worried about it is going to be purely academic experience this year. How is ISB addressing this?
So I would say no. What I can just give an example about is the office in which I sit. Uh, I sit on the first floor. If I go to the ground floor, the recreation center is right there, and we have a swimming pool out there. We have all the indoor games, be it basketball, badminton, gym, table tennis, squash, football ground, um, volleyball ground, tennis courts. So you will find each and everything on campus. And I would say ISB has a lot and a lot in store for you. It's just up to you what all can you grab. Now, at ISB, we do not just focus on academics. We focus on 360-degree molding of a student. And that is why we offer all these avenues, we offer all these platforms wherein you can find your true self. So, in terms of clubs, as I said, there was a flying club who was interested in beginning that. We have a dance club, theater club, singing club, music club, and so on. We also have an ISL, which is an ISB Super League, or ISB Sports League, in which you would have heard about IPL and English Premier League kind of formats. You have a manager, you have a coach, and then these managers and coaches, they bid for players. So in this, the students also participate, the alumni also participates, the staff of ISB also participates, and that is how teams are formed. And throughout months, the sports activities keep on happening on campus as well. So do not worry, you will have a lot and lot of opportunities. What a business school will teach you is also time management, and you will learn it a lot once you join.
Sounds good. So I think this user is wondering about what kind of post-India opportunities are available for the students who is interested in public policy. Can you also talk about career services in general?
So yeah, I won't be able to specifically talk about the company name, but what I can suggest you is, if you just go to the placements page on the website, you can find last 5 years placement reports available. So instead of me talking about the recruiters, you will get an exhaustive list of recruiters who have come in the past, in the last year, what kind of roles they had come for, what kind of salaries they had offered, and so on. So in terms of public policy, so we have an industry specific specialization in public policy. So, in terms of the recruitment in this particular area, yes, we have a lot of companies coming in there as well.
Sounds good. Does ISB recommend any pre-course work for applicants to, to do before joining ISB? For someone who is probably poor at math and they want to improve their own skills? Does ISB recommend any coursework?
So, what will happen is, before you join the program, now anyway, we have this digital Head Start module in place. Even before that, ISB will be in touch with you, and you will be provided with a lot of learning material, so that you can brush up your skills before you join the classes, before you join the digital head start module itself, uh, from HBR as well, from the Harvard Business Review. So you'll be having a lot of courses from there as well. And so do not worry, we know that, like, I pursued my program after 4 years of experience, so I can very well relate to it. After not studying at all for 4 years, getting back into that rigor of studying, I actually did not remember anything. So yes, we will be taking all this into account, and we have a very comprehensive learning approach for you in place, so that you have a very smooth transition.
Sounds good. I think one of the questions that we are hearing from the forum is like the graduation date for the current batch has changed. How is this going to impact the graduation date or the start date for the next intake?
So for the next year, or I would say from next year onwards, the classes will be starting in June. So in the next for the next batch, June 5th is the starting date. As I said, So the digital head start module will start on June 5th for them. As I said, for the current batch, we have extended their on-campus stay till May 2021. And depending on what is the current scenario, we might even extend that further. So, when they are having their on-campus experience, you'll be having a digital head start module if that happens. Otherwise, as soon as their course ends, your digital head start module will begin. And after your digital head start module, you'll be coming on campus to begin your on-campus learning.
Sounds good. I think the next question is what percentage of the courses are case based and what percentage are text based?
So, like every other top global business school, we follow a case-based methodology, and you will have a lot of case-based learning for every kind of course, every kind of subject which you have. The faculty actually they teach through the case-based methodology itself, and you will gain a lot of perspectives through them. You also, apart not just from the faculty, in terms of learning outside the classroom, you'll get a lot of opportunity to participate in case competitions and B school events and so on to enhance your skills.
Sounds good. We are already approaching the 1 hour mark, so I'll just probably take 2 or 3 more questions. This user is wondering about how is the selection criteria different from early entry option and the normal teaching program?
Okay, so there are three different modes of entries to the PGP. One is the normal PGP mode, which is for candidates who have 2+ years of experience. The second is the early entry option, which is for candidates between 0 and 2 years of experience. Third entry mode is the Young Leaders Program, which is for college students who are in their pre-final and final year of college. So for the early entry option, we understand that if somebody has just 5 or 6 months of experience and they are applying, they might not have that much of an exposure which an experienced candidate usually has. So the evaluation criteria will be different for an early entry option that way as compared to a normal PGP candidate. So do not worry on those lines, even though the procedure or the application process for both is same. For Young Leaders Program, it's completely different. If we have questions for that, I'll be happy to answer that as well. But for early entry option, whatever process is there for PGP is the same. Yes, apart from your work experience, a lot of the other aspects also. So the weightage might change for the other sections in terms of early entry option.
Sounds good. So, any distinction between a PGP and MBA branding that you have observed from the ISB alumni? More generically, like how is the international experience going to be for the ISB alumni?
So see, uh, usually ISB, as I said, in terms of ranking, if you see, ISB is ranked number 28 in the world by Financial Times, number 7 by Forbes, and number 2 by Wall Street Journal. So this will give you an idea that how well renowned is ISB in the international market or the global market. So when when a particular recruiter would see that you have completed your PGP from Indian School of Business, what usually would happen is, and this is what we have actually heard from a lot of our recruiters, they say that ISB actually lessens our burden of filtering candidates. For someone who's recruiting from ISB, they know that they are recruiting quality candidates. So if if somebody from outside India or somebody from the global market is evaluating you or assessing you, and they know that you have done your PGP from ISB, they know that you are a quality candidate, and then none of the questions like an MBA degree or anything of that sort will come to the mind. Already 550 plus of our ISB alum are at CXO level. 600 plus have their own startups and family businesses, and 21% of our alumni are outside India. So I think these stats should suffice.
Sounds good. I think that's mostly the questions. I have tried my best to cover all of the questions as I can. So just a note to the viewers, we have a ISB networking with the applicants that is happening tomorrow afternoon. More details will be posted as a link in the comments. GB, any final thoughts before we close the session?
So my final thought, which I would want the students to leave with, is do not self-reject yourself. Would be the most important one. There might be, many, or I would say a lot of chatter which would go around ISB about its application process or its admission process. It's good to hear from everyone, but now, like, I am a representative from the admissions team and talking upfront and telling you all this, right? So you might have a low score, you might have a high score. Do not self reject yourself thinking that you have a low score and you do not have a good chance, because many people outside might tell you if you do not have this kind of a score, you might not make it to ISB. From your end, what is it that you can do? You can give in your best and leave the rest to us, right? I have given you various points based on which we will be evaluating you. Your scores are not the only criteria based on which we are going to evaluate you. So rest assured, from your end, given your best, and I have given you the value propositions also, which I have talked about. If you want, I'm not here to talk about, okay, please come and join ISB. I'm here to tell you that whatever value propositions I have talked about in the presentation, try evaluating other business schools also with respect to them, and then take a very well informed decision. And if ISB fits you the best, you're most welcome.
Sounds good. Thank you, GB, for conducting this session and being with us here today and answering all the questions. Uh, by any chance, if some of your questions got didn't answer, there is an email address in the comments. Please write to that email address. And thank you, everyone, for joining. We hope to see you more in the future sessions. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nikhil, and thanks a lot, Vashish and Siddharth also, and the GMAT Club team for giving this opportunity. And I look forward to interacting with all the candidates on GMAT Club as well.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.